Did you hear?
Yeah,
Hello.
y'all.
My bad. Oh,
Hello.
it might be under there. Oh yeah. Thank
You
you.
don't go in a female's purse, man.
He, that's my brother. He good.
Ain't nobody ever talk. Ooh. Facebook says talk that is loud.
I don't know close my screens on my phone. Do you have that issue? It'd be like 22 screens.
Yeah, that's why I just closed them all.
I look like a little dude.
Where are you going?
I should put a bow on my head. They're probably like, who is that man?
Your mama. Hello, Anna. Why can't I see us? No, I took my internet off. But,
Hey, that's me.
oh, probably that's why. You just shared for me? Yeah, you did. Yeah, you did. No, you shared for me because it just says Mary has shared the stream.
Alright.
That's me.
I used to
But I
wonder
can't go
how.
online. That's what I'm saying.
Hello, hello. We're trying to figure out. Well, you guys know Eddie be taking a
I should
minute.
probably turn that
Chill,
down.
yo, chill.
You got it. Oh, we look good.
Yeah. I feel like I'm out.
That's like 3 levels of chocolate.
I told.
Hey, it's like those, you know those white ones like that, Kaufman?
Yeah.
That got like different colors on them. What's it called?
I don't know.
That shit is good.
Or like a black Oreo. Except the center isn't white, it's chocolate.
It's
Dark
chocolate.
chocolate.
Yes.
Mm.
It's 5 of us. Hi, Amelie. The kids.
Whatever she
So
said,
you share
hello.
it every time on it?
I thought you shared
No, I
it all
shared
that
it
time.
on
Yeah,
my way.
tell me how to do
I'm
it.
gonna share it myself.
You share yourself,
How do
but
I
you
do
can tag
that?
on it.
Huh?
How do I do
You have to go on the actual videos.
That was good, Hannah. How you doing, Amelie?
You have to go on the actual video.
From Tokyo.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. And then
Alright, so then I'm good.
Going live.
go on it.
Yeah.
Okay.
Now you gotta turn off the sound.
Oh, my
And that
bad.
always happens. And then you hit share. Still
Hello,
share.
hello.
I did.
Hey, friends.
And then write a post.
What's watch party?
No, don't do that. Write a post. And then that's you.
Okay, cool.
Hey, we good?
Yes, we ready?
Yeah, we good.
All right. It is 8 o'clock. It's time to talk that. Good job, baby.
I was on point. You did this
Yeah.
shit up.
No, okay.
I like it.
So my name is Mary Sunshine, and I'm your favorite host. And we have a guest today. So introduce yourself.
I'm Miss Tia.
Okay.
Is that
That's a little dry.
okay? Hi everyone. My name is Tia, also known as Urban,
Urban.
and this is my sister and my brother, and I love them dearly.
Okay, that was better.
Okay.
So-
what up, Josh? Hey, what's up, man? It's your boy Eddie Monsta. What's good with you?
Your mama is online.
My mom is?
No, not your.
Well, she on
hers.
now. Yeah.
Yeah. What up, Jay Watkins? All right, so what are we talking about today? We're talking about aging in relationships. With that being said, we're not just talking about husband and wife. It's friends, family, whatever. What do you guys, go in our comments, what do you guys think that what happens when you age in a relationship? Is it good? Is it bad? Does it get worse?
I think we should start with you.
What?
Let's start with you.
What do you
Why
want?
we wait for them to comment on what you just said?
What's the question?
What you just asked?
Exactly. Don't try to clarify with me.
But just, I think aging in relationships is dope, but there's a lot of hurdles. Because people grow and they don't necessarily grow like this. A lot of times they grow like this. Sometimes they come back, they come back and keep on going. But there's no way, in my opinion, that you just stay growing like this.
That's impossible. That's not growth.
Exactly.
Mm.
Hey Amber, you tuned in. I'm happy to see you.
Hey, Chatty.
Everyone that comes in, what's up, Warren? Everyone that is coming in, you guys, let us know if you believe in aging with each other and what that means to you. Tia, what do you believe? What do you think? Actually, let me ask you, how long you been married?
Since September 2015. I'm not a date person,
Okay.
but
So
September 23rd, 2015.
okay, so you've been married for a while. How do you feel about aging together?
As far as aging in a relationship,
Yep.
I think a lot of people don't consider that when they get in a relationship and move on to marriage,
Mm-hmm.
because my husband is not the man that I dated. My husband is not the man that I was engaged to. My husband isn't even the man that I said I do to.
Mm.
So
Well,
Makes
You
me
have
look at
to-
you weird.
it's not a bad thing, but that's how you know that there's growth taking place in the relationship.
Okay.
You have to keep in mind that people are going to change their views. They're going to change physically. They're going to change mentally. They're going to change spiritually. Me, for instance, I changed. No doing of my own. Physically, I have one breast. Physically, I gained weight. My perception of how I view the world has changed in my growth, in my relationship with God. So you just have to make sure you don't leave out the person you're connected to.
I got a question. Do you think your growth or how you age affects someone else's aging? Like,
Absolutely.
if I age, is it gonna automatically affect how you age?
Absolutely. It's a
Because you're
connection.
gonna look shitty, and then that means I'm gonna look shitty, and
True.
I'm trying to look good.
Facts.
Just like I made you look good.
Facts.
I'm trying to be.
Whoa,
Hey, that's facts.
I'm
Chill.
just saying we need to. This
Chill.
needs to be honest.
You got a lot of
here.
different aging. I mean, y'all talking about relationships like spouses. You got relationships with your family, aging with your family. I figured that out recently. How you can drift away from your family, because you know when you kids, man, you might be playing left and right and stuff with your sister or your brother or whatever the case may be. But then when y'all get adults and stuff like that, y'all go from calling each other from once a week to once a month, maybe once a year. Now you see each other on holidays, and all that's part of aging as well. You know what I mean?
But I don't know how.
Well,
Perception and everything. Like, let's say I don't have.
What's up, Black?
I mean, use a sister or something like that, or play cousin. We
Okay.
played all through high school and stuff. Then we went, go on, man.
I'm just saying, share your story.
He's so childish.
okay.
You know what I'm saying? And so then you went from playing with your play cousin,
What's up,
and
bro?
then, I don't know, maybe he went to go play baseball and you love to be a mathematician or something.
Mm-hmm.
And then through you going to school and him being active, that's their separation and distance also.
Real
and so you
quick.
start aging.
Yo,
differently.
Rob, we didn't start early.
I
We
just
started on time.
Yeah,
Okay.
I finally made it. It's only 15 episodes in and I did it. It's Eddie Monsta, your boy. And I did it with 2 black women. Come
Wow.
on. Tell me I can't get
Warren said definitely factual about family. It happened to me. Warren, can you go into it a little bit? Let us know. Black said, what's up? What's up, Black? We miss you. Warren said, especially when you move away from home and you're doing things differently than your family members are doing.
And friends.
And friend. Hey, Josh, could you comment on that? Do you think we grew or we aged differently? If he's still in here. But I know for a fact, me and Josh, man, we was inseparable. You know what I'm saying? And then when I went off to the military, I know the distance and everything, we aged different. You know what I'm saying? When you start you find out more about yourself through aging. What are your likes? What are your
Okay, I
dislikes?
like that. Yeah.
So
yeah.
then, you might not like the same shit. But the other
Nice,
person, they
easy.
might still like that same shit. But right there, y'all aged a little bit differently.
Mhm.
You know what I'm saying? So I think that's a common term that I hear in the
So
military.
you came to the States, to Germany. You were stationed here. Then you left, and now you're back.
Yeah.
Throughout these times, especially with family and friends, did you see how with certain people that maybe it wasn't that close, y'all grew together and y'all aged together, or did the relationships that you had that was really close suddenly became deteriorated?
Mhm.
That's the word, yeah. I can't say that because I left Chicago in 2013.
I'll let you know. Hold on.
And I moved to Texas, and then from Texas, got deployed, then came back to Texas, moved to Florida. So the people who, when I left, when you first leave, you really see who you have a real connection with.
Yeah.
Because those are people don't matter where you go, don't matter where they go, they're going to still be connected. My best friend, Ashanti, has been everywhere.
Mhm.
My friend Cindy, everywhere. Mike, everywhere. So Teresa, and I met her when I was in 7th grade. So I don't have a lot of friends, but the people who are my friends, they've been there throughout.
You can't take everybody with you.
No, you can't, and that's okay. You're not supposed to. It's about growth. When you grow, you can't take all the baggage. You can't take everything that you had, who you were, and that's why I said friendships change. It doesn't mean that this person is bad or you're bad for not keeping that friendship going, but
man, they bad if they fuck up.
Yeah, but however, what I'm saying is, as friends, it's seasons. You were meant to meet that person. You were meant to befriend that person, and that person is just not capable of going along with you. They've reached their level, so you have to go on.
Josh, I think what he was trying to say is when I asked him that question.
There's whole other people, so you
I'm
just
gonna
gonna talk to Josh because that's your friend.
Well, I thought you
that's
was
your
gonna,
friend.
Are you gonna reply to Black when he asked you to repeat the question?
Bro,
Thank you. Hey, Black, she's gonna help you out with that, all right? And then going up top.
Oh, now you want to go up to the top. Now you want to do what I told you to do.
Rob was saying he kept growing and expanding, and other people in his life just having to stay stagnant. You know what I'm saying? They quit moving and quit progressing. Now, did they quit progressing, or did they quit progressing in the way you were progressing? Because just because somebody's stagnant, maybe you can't grow from them, but maybe they're growing in their own way. You know what I'm saying?
So, Warren said, you find out who is truly supportive of you too when you grow and mature. Black, the question was, do you believe in aging? Was that a question?
Yeah.
Do you believe in aging in relationships? If so, what was your experience? I changed the question a little bit.
You did?
Well, it doesn't matter. Everyone gets it. Yeah, that's even better.
I'm congratulating you.
Wow.
Let's grow together.
Hey.
Let's evolve, you know what I mean?
Rob said, to be honest, I grew apart from a lot of people in my lifetime. I'm very nomadic. We know that, Rob. And I keep growing and expanding, like you said. When you move.
Like a nomad, they just go.
Like a nomad?
Nomad. You never heard of that? Nomad?
You don't
like
have
you make your
a
own
steady
way.
place.
Yeah,
you just keep moving.
Like a drifter, right?
No, get out of here. What are the people that spell castles on you?
Gypsies.
Like a gypsy.
Yeah, okay. But I'll say this, for people that are like that, which I guess you could say anybody connected to the military is like that. And I will say that because I moved so much, or I left Chicago, period, then that made that the people that was connected to me see outside of their complacency. Like, she left, so even though I may not be connected to them or as tight as I was with them, it helped them grow.
I see what
you see what I'm saying? Yeah. So really, anybody you're connected to, if you're growing, you're helping them grow, even if you're not talking to them every day.
Well, so I got a question. Can your growth actually stop?
Warren said growing is about recognition who you were and who you are now.
Yeah.
And who belongs in your life and who doesn't. To include your family. I like that. I like that. Rob said, yeah, what she said. People grow apart. I agree with her. I just enjoy the time and experience for exactly how they are at the time. Everyone isn't meant to be in your life forever.
Hey, Daphne.
What's up for everyone that tuned in? Listen, the topic is aging in relationships. We're not just talking about this type of relationship, but this type of relationship, family, friends, whoever. Do you believe there's such thing? And if so, let us know what you experienced.
I got something. What about, I get excited, what about when your friend, like the whole friend thing, right? And they be like, oh, you changed. You think you better.
I heard that shit so much.
And they talk about you behind your back, and you've done nothing wrong.
Besides growth.
Besides Boston.
I think as far as that's concerned, or them talking about you or whatever, is they're going off of who you were. They only know who you were.
Warren is what you said.
Well, I feel what you're saying. And have you ever been asked that question before you actually even started moving? It was like once the idea was out there, or let's say you was getting ready to move to Germany. Oh, you going to Germany? You about to change. You about to be this person. Before you even did anything. I think that starts falling on insecurity.
I think
stuff like that.
I think people that are not expanded. I think people only been in one place, like you said, and you leave that place and they get to see you, they're like, oh, you think you German now, or oh, you think you know shit now.
You jumped off.
Exactly.
You jumped out of the
You
nest.
just opened your mind to different
Exactly.
things, whereas
And
they're still in the same pot.
And it's difficult to fix that barrier. Both people have to want to fix that barrier, or else it's just gonna go left.
Yeah.
That's with family, with friends, with relationships.
Yeah.
What do you guys think about the relationships where they've been married for 30-some years?
I think that's dope.
I think that's dope too.
To a certain degree.
What do
I was about to say to a certain
Because some
extent.
people just stay married just to stay married.
Yeah.
Because they comfortable.
Because they don't want to grow no more.
Because they're old.
They're like, what
Maybe because they're old. Back in the day, it wasn't no such thing, man, as divorce.
Yeah, ain't no more leaves growing off this tree, so I'm just planting it here. You know what I'm saying? You didn't like that.
That's dope.
That was, right? Thank you.
visual.
Somebody fucks with
You know why they like each other? Because they barely have hair or short hair. That's why they hate men. Amber said, I believe in aging in relationships. I think it's important to understand that we all will grow and change as we age, but that doesn't mean you will fully lose those connections.
Word.
It's not just communication through your changes, but also understanding their changes. I love that. That is facts. That is great. Daphne said hi. Jatoya. Jatoya, we miss you.
Warren said something dope.
That's a dope
Hey,
name.
Warren said, hey, a form of control, what we was talking about.
So you're just gonna skip people? Okay, go ahead.
My bad.
I'm just
But he was
saying,
like, yo,
the
some
people
people-
he's skipping, he don't like y'all.
No, he keeps saying men names.
My
Whoever the men.
thing is going so fast, I can't keep up with
Right,
everybody.
Roger.
He said some people want to make you feel guilty for moving on. And I think what I want to add to that, what he was trying to say, is that they realize that they cannot grow.
Mm-hmm.
And so it puts them in a place that they just want to make you feel guilty because you're able to actually do it.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
There's some jealousy.
You didn't listen.
I'm
I know
so-
that you're looking right in my
I know.
eyes. That's so
Because your
disrespectful.
brain was going. You were thinking of something else.
Honestly, no, I just let him talk, and I looked at him thinking, I knew he was gonna believe what I, you know.
You gonna read the choice?
No, I'm gonna read Jatoya. What up, Melody?
No, bring it back. Come on, man.
What's up, Cloud? I appreciate everyone coming in. Jatoya said it is important to realize that who you make is at 20 is not who they are at 30 or 35, at 40. And they shouldn't be.
Right.
Change is necessary. It's about growth and expanding. I agree with that. But what happens when you grow like this? I mean drastically. Like drastically. What happens? What do you do? Well, how do you change it? Do you even want to change it? Because you know how relationships, they've been together for 15, 20 years, and then they grow, and they're like, you know what? You are there, I am here, I'm comfortable, you're comfortable, we just leave it at that.
That's the thing. The thing about, are you saying relationships as far as marriage or?
Yeah, I'm talking about boyfriend, girlfriend,
So,
whatever.
The thing is that whether you're married or not, you made an agreement with that other person,
Yeah.
and in that agreement, you make promises to stay connected, to grow together, to get better, so that as one, you all can, be on a better or different level. Nothing wrong with growing separately, but there has to be some type of connection. And what happens is when those people years down the line, they start focusing on them for whatever reason, whether it be health, whether it be, financial, whether it be career-wise, they forget that they have to connect.
Boom. Can I hit you? Can I jump in right there?
Go.
Like double touch.
I feel like,
Yo.
I feel like how Rob said, it's the boy of the gang over here. Y'all gang.
Yo, now we just on something. Nah, I feel
Go
you.
get the
All
Clippers.
by myself.
Because if you think about it, I feel that, and what a lot of people forget is couples influence each other.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So if I'm growing and I'm growing towards a goal or something like this, and you're growing in this opposite direction, you influence me to reach my goal.
Right.
So if we go in two different separate ways, I'm going to feel lonely.
Yeah.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying? I'm going to feel like I'm doing it all by myself because
So,
of that connection.
Do you have to nip it in the butt right then and there? Well, not
It's
nip it in the
already
butt, but it
established
needs
with
to
the
be.
promises. Promises ain't, we will stay together for
Bro,
40
people
years.
break promises all day,
You're
every day.
right.
You promise.
Okay, you're
but
right.
you
That's what I'm
can't
saying. It's
think
not about
about that.
promises. It's
You
about a foundation you got to set up.
Yeah, you can't think about. That's like people getting going into marriage, thinking about divorce. You can't do that. You setting yourself up for failure
You're not even
right
supposed to
then.
say the D word.
It's not
I
gonna
like the
happen.
D word though.
I like the D word too. So you can't, and at the same time, you have to be comfortable enough in your own skin to grow in a separate way, because you have to do that. Because then the other problem, what is a conundrum to that, is that if you're so afraid to lose your spouse that you're holding on and you're not growing, you're not letting yourself become better.
I'm gonna eat a worm on that.
Word. Everybody has, like, what you guys have, that's y'all thing.
Yeah.
What me and my husband have, that's our thing. What you and your whatever family member, sister, brother have, that's y'all thing. You have to do what's comfortable for you. However, you have to make sure that in the agreement between the two people, y'all have some type of understanding.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I see.
And that's a big understanding on both sides. You can't just be like, yo, we got to understand it, and they don't know nothing about it.
Mama said what you said, Eddie, and some people are just afraid of change.
Yeah.
Warren said nowadays we are so quick to just let things go without making an effort to fix it. And the problem is,
you be dropping jewels.
No, I'm saying that's
Warren, you should be a guest on that.
That's 3 carat right
We're so quick to just let things go without making an effort to fix it, but we will put that same effort that we could have fixed the problem over here to go and establish our own goals
Well,
to grow away. We will. You'll focus on yourself.
People try to fix it by covering up the problem.
Yeah.
For a lot of men try to fix it by, you know what, I'm sorry, here's this ring, here's this. And then some of these dumbass females, they're like, okay, well, I got the ring, well, I got this. They get beat up. The fix is to give them a big gift. So there is no fixing. You actually, and even if this is maybe very far, but even, let's say you and me, there's been multiple arguments where you was just trying to put a rug on top of it.
Yeah.
Until I made you try to fix it. I mean, you good now, babe. I'll fix you.
But you have to think about it. That person may not have the tools to fix it.
Exactly.
Which is why the relationship is necessary. Because you're bringing something. That's what a relationship is. You're bringing something I don't have. Ooh. And I'm bringing something you don't have. Ooh. And together that's making us a whole and better.
Hey,
I actually read something that said people are always looking for the positive to make their relationship stronger. But they said your relationship can only go so far unless you take the real bad negative.
Exactly.
It said the real bad negative is what amplifies anything that's positive and outweighs it and takes you farther.
Because the reality is if you, in any situation, life, individual, relationships, friendships, when you go through the storms, when you go through the trials, yes, I'm about to preach. When you go through these things, it makes you stronger, period. Mm-hmm. So if you're not going through anything with anyone else, it's just gonna stay stagnant.
It's gonna stay that superficial relationship.
Ebru said my parents are married for 39 years. They came to Germany, had nothing, and grew together. Chased the dreams and built a life, including ups and downs. I admire them. Older generations have more willpower to fight through. I agree with that too. But this is my question: Do they have more willpower, or are they so old not saying? No, I knew this was going to come out wrong. I mean, is it like they're so much older than this young millennials and whatever generation that they just like, you know what, this happened, I don't care, we're just going to keep going. Because I don't know, being married for 40 years, you really think they never cheated?
I think it's possible.
Right?
But I will say this, I think
what are you typing?
That people that are so, that she's saying the older generation, I think the reason why people that are our ages and younger, when they're going through the growth process, everything is so easy. Everything is so accessible. So they don't know what hard work is to maintain anything.
Oh, that's
when I was in school and I had to read a book or write something on a book, whatever, I can't think, report on the book, I had to go to the library. I had to pull out the theme, the index cards, find them, you know what I'm saying, sit down, read. Wasn't no Google, like I literally could write a paper just never leaving my home.
That is true.
So it's easy, and you don't want to, they fashion people to not want to fight anymore.
Yeah, that's true.
And then, on top of that, it's, because the society is so easily, everything is visual, when a female or when a male don't do what you want them to do, or you're not happy anymore, you got another one right around the corner.
Yeah, that's true, right? You got so many options out there.
Easy.
You know, the problem is that you got so many, oh my bad. You got so many.
People are.
Oh, my bad. Go ahead, in the comments.
Go
ahead, in
like
the
people got over
comments.
here trying to talk
My
to.
bad. Well, Priscilla said something. I have responded.
Wow.
I'm just waiting for
you know who Priscilla is?
That my mama.
You shouldn't have said it because he didn't know.
Yeah.
No. Did you hear what
Yo, come on, man.
Rob said, in the same vein, we also need to learn when it's time to let that shit go instead of sticking around in a situation in which y'all just ain't compatible. And see, that's what we just talked about. How long does it take to let go? Because some people need time to grow. Bars.
And
Bars.
and
I was
you
about
know,
to say.
and that's what I was gonna hit. What y'all saying?
No, but there's more
Man, I just got.
people.
All right, go
Okay, go
No,
say.
I just
You got
got
30
one.
seconds. Go.
15. Go.
Nah, man, damn, man, why you do that? Go ahead, man.
Okay, Amber said, if they lose their connection, then sometimes you have to change the dynamics of the relationship. If you truly grow apart, especially with some of the younger relationships that people jump into fast
Man.
and didn't truly have those real conversations about what types of goals they have.
Facts.
Facts, 1000%.
Yeah.
Yvette said, hey boo, come on Tia, you did that. Basically she's saying you
Well,
saying
thank you.
you
Well,
said
thank you. I have a lot of big relationships.
Warren said, I think the older generations had less choices to distract them as well, like you said. Okay, everyone's saying big facts, so obviously you said fire shit, so go ahead,
Rob
Trump.
said, sure, they need time to grow.
Wow, now you want to rob the people.
I'm going with it. I'm just saying, be open-minded to the possibility that y'all ain't meant to be. But what I was gonna say earlier is, yo, when you sit there and you're so quick to make it, call it quits.
Yeah.
The problem is that everything is everything is right around the corner that you didn't even learn nothing in that relationship.
Man, come on. And you
So
just
you
going
run
and
straight,
going
yeah.
and
So
going.
y'all just wondering why all these shits is messed up, but you ain't take the time to stick it out with anything.
Exactly.
Once it get hard, you ran, you ain't learned nothing, you not growing. You
Yeah,
know
but
what I'm
what if you just stay stuck because you want to learn, but y'all not really learning from one another because one person feels some type of way, the other person feels some type of way.
That's a dependency.
Okay, so then why are you staying together?
Because it's a dependency.
Yeah, but are we saying growing in the dependency?
No.
So you stagnant.
Yeah.
So you're stagnant in the dependency, but you're also stagnant if what? I didn't know.
saying?
No, I know where you're going. Oh, I think I know where you're going.
Okay, help me.
You're saying if someone, you gonna make me forget now. You know my brain ain't wired sometimes. You're saying if there's no growth. If you're in a relationship and you shouldn't have been in that relationship in the first place because you guys are not compatible.
But this is what I'm saying. How do you know you shouldn't be in the first place just because
you know.
You don't
You know.
necessarily
No, you just
know.
don't pay attention to it.
Yeah.
You
and
know.
You want to educate? No, hold on. I got one. Oh, wow.
Wow.
That was a dig.
Yeah, I'm not the only one. All right, hey.
Wow.
Yvette said, married for 13 years. We got married so young, but we were always determined to succeed in our marriage. The issue with the young generation is that they're giving up easy. If something doesn't work, I can stop. It's called the microwave generation. Folks, ooh, I like that.
I like that too, yeah.
I think I read
Folks
that.
don't want
Understood.
to work for anything. They want fast and easy, not realizing that marriage is a process,
Come
especially when you marry and have to grow and mature together.
Hey, you better say it.
I like
What?
that.
Rewind.
Right, facts.
Hey, can I throw some facts?
Yeah.
Some positive facts out there?
Oh,
Hey,
yes.
when you're in a relationship with somebody, I get out my shit.
Okay.
He got notes
Let
out
me
there.
stealing my stuff, girl.
Paper,
Hey,
pen, pen.
when you out there, a fact is obviously you live longer. For men live longer when they're with women.
True.
Oh, really?
The reverse side of that, women actually die younger when y'all
Because
in a
we're
relationship
stressed.
with us.
Dun, dun, dun.
But now, black people gonna say stress. The positive thing is when you with your significant other or whatever the case may be, is that you no longer have to stress by yourself.
Yeah.
You, when in a relationship, you actually stress with each other and go
Yeah.
through everything with each other, which is less stress on you as an individual.
You
And next,
Bro,
I'm telling you, I am keeping all this. Something that was dope. Core regulation. I never even knew this word existed.
I mean, neither. What does that mean?
It's regulating your spouse's emotions.
Oh, okay.
So when you're with someone, you can actually regulate how angry they get. She
Oh,
can
that's
calm me
interesting.
down.
Yeah.
She can give me. So
Same
that's
here.
over the long term of your life is better for your
You know what's
health.
difficult though is when you're at whatever feeling at the same time.
Yeah.
That like that stresses you out more, and Because a lot of times, and that's what we had when it came to therapy. You cannot, in my opinion, right, with soldiers and everything, I feel like everyone should go to therapy.
Yeah.
Now, if you are in a relationship where there are obviously problems and eternal problems, and you go to counseling as a couple, but then you're also supposed to go to counseling
Very much so.
for each person, I don't think it's healthy for both to go to counseling at the same time.
Ooh. Okay.
I think
With each
relationship counseling,
I feel
yes.
Okay.
But if both of them have eternal problems,
Yeah.
I don't think they also should at the same time go to
It's a lot.
therapy.
It's a lot.
It's just too much, especially when you have
I'll say
kids at
this.
the house and work and all of these things. Because we all know.
Somebody has to be grounded.
Exactly, because
I
we
have
all
that.
know therapy gets first. It first is really bad
Yeah.
before it gets good.
Yeah.
So when you both down and you got kids and household and work and all that, that's not gonna, in my opinion.
No, I agree with you, saying.
Well,
I
there
see
is
what
a
you're
way
saying.
that could work though,
How?
because it depends on the personal issues you're attacking.
Okay.
If, for instance, I'm going for some type of trauma that has taken place in my life,
Mm-hmm.
and my husband is going for something that's can't think of the word, but not so bad.
But there's no such thing.
But it kind of is. Like you can. I just realized I don't have my ring. I left my
Yes,
ring.
same here.
She don't either, y'all.
I
No
never
ring
take
gang,
it off.
gang,
I'm
gang,
sorry.
gang, gang, gang.
I
Wear your ring on.
You know what I'm talking about?
And I don't think because I was rushing to get here. I had made some spaghetti and some chicken. But but dang, what was it?
I'm gonna hear read a comment while you think of it. Devon said you don't convince anyone to do anything when it comes to relationships, just like you don't force someone to change what they don't want to do. All right.
Okay.
Yeah, you
I
can't
agree.
force someone.
Yeah.
Black said, "Yo, I think the problem comes when small-minded, stagnant, comfortable people engage with evolvers, movers, strong-willed people."
Ooh, that's deep.
Why don't you? Yeah,
I
why don't you
like
make
it.
it
You should
deeper?
write that
I think
down.
you should write that deeper or go more into it.
Okay, for everyone that
I need,
just
like-
tuned in, thank you thank you guys for tuning in. We have a guest, Tia, aka Urban. We're talking about aging in relationships. What type of experience have you had so far? What did you see? How long are you married or in a relationship, and what do you want to share, guys? People that are married since 1970 something,
That's deep.
right? How much infidelity you think happens?
In the 70s?
Yeah, 70s,
Man, you got the
80s.
70s.
Man, that's drugs, that's
Hey,
that's
opioids,
awesome.
that's...
But it was like, fuck it, we still stay together, right?
Cause it probably wasn't that big.
You know what I think it is?
Mm-hmm.
70s and before that, people used to get married because it was better for their finances.
Okay.
People used to get married because
Their
they wanted
stature.
the booty because people was virgins.
Yeah.
You know, people used
yeah.
to get married because they grew up to, they went to school together.
Because it was fast, right?
Yeah.
Because over nowadays, well, I feel like the American community gets married faster than the German community. But if I look back to those times in the 70s, 60s, 70s,
Mhm.
you would see someone within 6 weeks you get married.
Mhm.
Because you go to war, because whatever the case
Yeah.
may be, you see him, you love him, you get married.
Mhm.
We as Germans, in Germany, we always talk about it, how Americans are so quick to get married. It's like a thing, you meet me, you hear, we know each other 6 months later, you want to get married. And I've seen it so many times, so is that an American thing?
Well, I got a backpack off that then because it's people that came over here during the war and they married Germans. Why did Germans say okay?
Duh.
I mean,
I'm saying that, but the proposal
it's
comes
a
from
cultural
American.
thing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because over here, you stay in a relationship for seven years. You're not even engaged.
Word?
That ass. I know people that were together for 9 years until they actually got married.
You're not really thinking about it because you got to look at a lot of people, and we talking about military, whatever. A lot of people are young. You know what I'm saying? Because that was my next question. We talking about
What up,
aging.
Watts?
We talking about aging with somebody and aging to grow together, right?
Mm-hmm.
But what age? Oh, I had a perfect way to put that. Is there a certain age that you should be, but does age interfere with that? That's what I'm trying to get at. Like,
We
you know what I'm
just
saying?
lost two
Hold on, let me
followers.
get out of here. Let me get it back. So we're talking about aging and growing together, right?
Yeah.
But is age a determination on how to do that? Because if we 19, we don't know. When I was 19 and got married, or 20 and got married, the last thing in my mind was, yo, she's gonna change. I was like, yo, this person that I'm marrying, that's who I could do all life with this person. And then 3 years later, I was like, this is not the same person that I'm married. You know what I'm saying? So
let's be real.
that's without the knowledge, right?
When you got married, it was about a certain thing. Now it's like she said, when we're supposed to get married, you're not looking into, well, if I get married to this person, then I make this much money, or if I get married to this person, then I finally get to live in this house. Or when you have to have
for the wrong reason.
exactly. I'm not saying that we all know, or we should all know that once you get married, you don't. This is not the same person it's going to be, because a year ago when I met you, you wasn't that same person. So obviously, a year later, you're not going to be the same person. What we hope for, or at least people that are, in their right mind, what you hope for is that you grow together.
Better.
So exactly, you become better. So that's what you hope for, but obviously it doesn't always work. I'm just like, in my head, I'll keep thinking about the infidelity part, because 30 years in, okay, let's say you're 2 years in, and you get cheated on, compared to 20 years in, and you get cheated on.
See, I think it was the opposite then. If you're going back on the 70s thing, I think that was initial, like, cheating. And then as time went on, it was like, I don't want to see this person in pain. I don't want to, not be with this person. I just needed to grow. They weren't ready to really be with one person. It's like you want everything this person is bringing, but you still kind of want some of this and that and that and that.
Yeah, but when you're young, isn't that normal?
That's normal.
Yeah.
But that's why I believe anybody that's getting married should have marriage counseling. Anybody.
Oh yeah, I agree.
think that's mandatory, because especially if you're coming from a culture or a family where people aren't married or have been married, but it's infidelity and things that took place, they just still married. You need to know, what marriage is truly about. You need to know that it's not going to be all fun and games. It's like when you're younger, and I know this was me, I would see older people together, and I know they've been married for years, and I used to be like, I want that. But then when I got married and dealt with some issues that we dealt with, I was like, yo, I didn't know
that it comes with all of this.
In order to get to that, you gotta go through these things.
Yvette. I keep saying Yvette. It's Yvette.
Hey, Nikki, that's my best friend.
Hey, best friend. Communication is a stressor, too. This book is a must-read for not just newlyweds, but for any relationship, for all eternity, by Dr. John Lunt. Babe, write that down.
Yeah, I wrote it.
No, you did.
I copied it on the clipboard.
Lysandra said, hi, Lysandra, I hope you're good in the States. We should know that, but in the human mind, we get stuck on what we first saw or what we like. The mind takes us to the things we want.
Ooh, back to
that is deep. That will mess us up all the time, right? That fucks us up.
Your mind, what you want,
our
what you
mind,
need.
yeah. For all the religious people, it's funny because we be asking God, well, what we want, and He'll give us what we need, and we'll be like, damn, God, you're not listening. That's not what I asked for. I told you
what you want, but
and
you
then
have to go through.
And then you're gonna get smacked like 5 times.
Like, I want a big old house. Oh, you do?
Do you want to clean that big
What
old
you gotta
house?
do
Do you want to pay this water bill? This gas
Do you
bill?
have the electricity for this house?
Devonna said, in a way, the structure of our government forces us to get married when it comes to your spouse. And that's the difference between Germans and Americans. That piece of paper protects our families in medical situations or whatever. That marriage certificate is a contract in the American government and other countries like Germany. And you don't need that as much. They can be here with their significant others without officially tying the knot. They can coexist together without the pressure. There are other factors, and I'm sure, but I definitely feel culture plays a big part.
Yeah.
That was all. That makes sense. Thank you. You educated me just now.
Black said the thing is you got to invest the time to get to know the people around you. Once you do that, you will know who is in your life for a lifetime or a session.
And not invest with blinders on. That I can't stand. Don't if I'm your friend and you coming to me talking about relationships you just got in, and I'm feeding my counselor mind is keeping note of everything you said that you ain't paid attention to, and I tell you, yo.
And you don't want to listen.
Yeah, but it doesn't always work.
Sometimes you gotta go through it. Sometimes you gotta go through it.
Yeah,
You have to go through it because especially a lot of times so we married, and then we have single friends.
Yeah.
And we see what's going on, we see what might be wrong, so we're trying to help them, and then they think, oh, because they married now.
It's like I'm trying to save you.
Yeah, but at the same time, it's like they're not going to get it, and so I just let them be, and then when it happens, I'm like,
I had to learn that the hard way. Because I'm protective. If someone's close to me, like I named my friends, those are my friends. If you're my friend and I see you going into a place that there's going to be some type of pain, I would do something to try to protect you from that. But back to the growth aspect of the relationship, I have to let you go.
You gotta grow. Some things you gotta go back on. Yeah. Like, look, it's gonna hurt, but I'll be there to help you.
Exactly, but that's learning. That's learning in your friendship that you have to just be there.
Lysandra said also, as far as the 70s, it seemed like it was okay or accepted to have infidelity. The people doing it just didn't necessarily bring it right to their partner's front door.
Word.
Side
chicks was not proud. They wouldn't have it. They rent was paid and they kids was taken care of, but they weren't proud.
They wasn't
except
proud.
What's that song? Hello, is this Barbara? Remember the song? Come on, Mom. What's the song? Hello, Barbara. The clothes he got on, I paid for them. The car he drive,
I paid for that. I know what you're talking about.
Yeah, that was the only time. That was the only time a side chick that I know back then was proud.
I don't even know how side chicks these days. I don't know.
I got a question.
What up?
So, do you put as much energy in every relationship if you feel that it's growing apart? So you got a marriage. Obviously, you want to put, or maybe not put energy that way to try and save it or whatever case, or bring you guys back together, bring your roots back together.
Right.
But if you got some friends or something like that, they're friends, and you start feeling that, is it just easier to just be like, you know what, I don't really need that?
It depends.
I can speak on that because my sister Mary helped me with the situation, and my friend Cece.
Yeah, you just put on the bus.
No, I don't know. Both of them helped me understand that it was okay to let that person go. Mm-hmm. That didn't mean that they was a bad person, nor was I. But whatever our friendship was, that's what it was. Mm-hmm. And for whatever reason, we had to go separate ways. And that hurt me because, like I said, when I'm friends with somebody, I'm there for the long haul. Mm-hmm. And Mary and Cece was like, yo, you did what you were supposed to do. Just let them go. If their friendship, maybe they need to work on something without you in their life. Mm-hmm. And I was like, okay, all right.
Them shits hurt though.
Man, that hurt.
It's weird because, people always think, at least me as a girl, I thought, when I was younger, I thought there's only relationships between man and female. Because just like you was hanging out with guys. Mm-hmm. Guys were easy. You don't have that type of stress hanging out with a guy.
They don't talk to you every day.
Exactly. So you chill. And then you run into the first female friend that you have. And they usually want to be best friends immediately. And you just like, we're friends. Just chill. Mm-hmm. We're cool. And then you get in it. This girl becomes like your sister, your best friend. You love her. You do anything for her. Mm-hmm. And then she cheats on you. And it hurts. It hurts so bad. And I never thought in a million years that a female can break my heart.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. I won't do it to you. I'll kill you. Bro.
Oh, that song was called Woman to Woman.
Yeah,
Y'all saw that?
Devonna said, the longer you've been married or in a committed relationship, you realize there are other things outside of infidelity that can break up a relationship. And it brings things into other perspective. This is not to say that infidelity is ever okay, but you start to understand why people choose to stay after infidelity occurs. Jada Pinkett Smith promoted a book on her y'all show called The State If Affairs.
State of Affairs.
State of Affairs by Esther, okay? And she's a psychologist that brings infidelity to a different perspective.
Yep.
Again, this is not promoting infidelity, but makes you look at the relationship in a bigger picture.
I agree with you 100%.
I agree with you too.
Oh, now when I was younger, I would have been like, yo, infidelity, you cheat on me, da da da. As I get older, you know what I'm saying? There's other things that's bigger than, sex. You know what I'm saying? I'm not saying that you wouldn't.
Obviously not for her.
Yeah, not for you, but I'm just saying I can see how, there's other things that, in order to build this foundation of life, to go through this journey together, you mess with somebody. Okay, there's other bigger things that we can get past that, but there's certain issues that you might possess or ways that you're not growing that there's no way we're gonna reach this journey.
But there's levels to this shit.
Yeah.
So you mean the type of cheating and shit?
Yeah. I mean, we already talked about it. It's not the type of cheating. Imagine cheating with a family member and having an affair with that family member. I don't know how to put that in perspective besides killing both of
I got
y'all.
a story.
A story.
That it's like Jerry Springer, and it was real life. I ain't gonna say no names. But it was a woman that was with a dude.
Mm-hmm.
They had a baby.
Mm-hmm.
He went to jail, came home, right? She got a cousin.
Mm-hmm.
Very close. It ain't like they separate or whatever. They grew up together, they put everything.
Mm-hmm.
As adults, they were still close.
Mm-hmm.
They broke, the first woman and the dude broke up. He went to the cousin,
Okay.
got in a relationship with the cousin, had a baby, and the son that they had together called that cousin mom. It was crazy.
That's a little bit.
I was like, yo, I'll be in jail.
That's where I can't.
Yeah,
I'll be in
that's
jail.
That's where I can't. So I don't know. But ultimately, what do you think is the most difficult part of aging together?
The change. The actual growth. With growth comes change. And if you're growing, you're changing, and it's hard to accept that change sometimes.
Yeah.
Cause like my husband, he was deployed, military, right?
Yeah.
So the person who he was before he left was not the person that came home.
Deployment.
Now, not to say that he's a bad person or anything like that, but the
Your mom
goofy,
said, "Wow."
the goofy, you know who they are. The
That's what she
goofy,
probably said, "Wow."
silly, person that was my spouse before, and then when he came home, he wasn't so silly.
Mm-hmm.
He wasn't so goofy.
Mm.
But because I'm open-minded, and that's how my brain works. I try to figure out people and why they are the way they are. I accepted like that. Like, okay, this is how you are.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm gonna love that part of you as well. But it was difficult because it's like the way that I used to play with you, or the things I used to do, I can't do it no more.
Mm-hmm.
So you just have to accept that change, but that change can sometimes be very difficult to deal with. Me, I'm sure might change. I don't care how much he say he love me, how much it don't bother him. There's a change that took place with me, but in that change I've grown.
Yes.
Things that seem like my birthday. What do you want? Last year, let me get some diamonds, give me some Tiffany perfume, let me get a Gucci purse. This year I was like, yo, I'm glad I'm alive.
Mm.
Like I just want to spend time with you.
Mm.
Now that makes it more difficult for him to do stuff for me because he can't give me life. But there's growth in that. So
Rob said the same thing than you. He said the change plus accepting that you're growing apart into different people.
But it's like a magnet though. If you really have that good connection, you're gonna come back together, and you're gonna come back together stronger. What's the thing then, Mr. Scientist?
I mean, just a magnet and something metal, but two magnets.
Okay, well, magnet and metal. Okay? There.
Yvette said patience in the change. It takes time. I think that's for me, that's it.
Yeah.
It's cool to change, I understand, but to be patient with it and see why they changed, how they really changed. Because, okay, so if he loved washing the dishes, and then he stopped washing the dishes because it's not his thing no more. So then I get mad that he just stopped washing the dishes. But maybe there's something deeper to it because he doesn't like the soap that I'm buying. You know what I'm saying? It sounds stupid, but
that's very wife-like for you to even think in that manner. Because that's another thing. When you're in a relationship, you can't think just on top. You gotta get big deep. Yeah.
That's what I'm saying. So on the surface, it would look like you just don't want to wash dishes no more. But I have to figure out or understand, or we need to communicate where this change came from.
Yeah.
And that's where I agree with Yvette, because you need to have the patience to understand where this came from instead of just being so. Rob said soap is so important. I don't want to talk to you no more. Devon said, I agree with change. Not only are you in a stage of constant growth as an individual, you are also changing as someone's partner.
Come on.
You have to figure out how to be the best version of yourself for you, and sometimes that might not work for your partner and the stage of growth they're currently in. It's like take two different puzzle pieces and fitting them into one picture.
Visual.
I know.
I had a, you about to
Devonna. No, I like what she's saying. She been.
No, it was fine.
What was you gonna say?
I was thinking still.
You say, oh.
Yeah, because I'm trying to think about the whole growth, right? So a big thing about growth, right, with people is you get goal oriented, right?
Yeah.
So, or can you grow together if your goals are not in line with each other?
Yes.
If you can, because they don't need to always be aligned.
That's the point. If they are in line together all the time, you're not growing.
Because that's what I was gonna say. You asked earlier. Y'all asked what is the difficult? What are some difficult things about doing that? But one of the biggest difficult things is if you guys are going on two different paths and two goals, but you're still supposed to support each other's goals. And what if you don't agree with their goals?
Yeah.
Well, if you don't agree with their goals, then this is a communication or a conversation that you
How
guys
would you
would
not
have
agree?
together.
Not so much agree with their goal. Let's say, yo, I'm 49 years old. I'm like, yo, babe, you know what? I'm about to be the next Jay-Z.
Oh, okay.
I'm about to quit my job.
Oh,
You going through a midlife
babe,
crisis.
Nah, listen to this beat though, babe.
I'm like, that's
yo,
trash.
man, that's
Trash.
You know what I mean? And then you want to be, you know what I mean? That
No, I
can be
understand
a
what you're
huge
saying.
difficult.
But goals, okay, so I understand what you're saying. But if you're in a relationship to where you can trust each other, like, babe, how many times you show me shit and I'm like, yo, that shit trash. Just even our relationship, if I call her and be like, yo, Eddie's going on my nerves, and she'd be like, bitch, please, it's really not that serious. Or vice versa. She texted me and was like, oh my god, my husband, I want to kill him. And then I put it into perspective and she's like, you know what? You're right. If you have that type of relationship, you can be like, you will never make it to be Jay-Z.
I feel what you're saying, like, but on a positive level, like for instance, right after we got married, I used to work at a company and I was making a nice amount of money, but it was hella stress. Like I was working 12, 15 hours a day. Like I would come home on my lunch break, make dinner, go back to work, not leave work until 8, 9 o'clock at night. I spent no time with my child. I spent no time with my husband.
Yeah,
you know,
those are horrible.
And I was in school. I had just started school. So my husband, seeing that I actually had a goal, which was why I started school, he was like, quit. Just quit.
That's what I'm saying, but he supported you.
He supported me, but he had to take into perspective that money was going to be missing.
Exactly.
That financial,
Okay.
you know.
So it's not necessarily the same goal. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I got
Sometimes you have to, what you call it?
Start with C. Come on, Lord.
Sacrifice.
Yeah, but
That's what I wanted to do.
but not sacrifice, but
Cooperation?
no, but that's gonna bother me. Come on, somebody, y'all know what the C word means.
Sometimes compromise.
Compromise.
Okay.
There we go.
Sometimes you have to compromise or even sacrifice your goal for the other person's goal.
Yeah.
So you can meet in the middle and have what you guys really want. Because my goal might not be your goal, but it's my goal for me, and you have goals for you, and we can meet together to have then our goals together. You get what I'm saying?
Or he lets you focus on your goal, put his on the back burner, because you need that type of support, and then vice versa.
See, Tommy had you on compromise.
Boom. Thank
He
you.
was ready.
I know I wasn't crazy. I'm a word person, but this brain thing don't work so well.
Rob said if something changes, you have to address it. Don't let it fester and rot the relationship from the inside out.
Yeah.
10 years later, y'all wondering why y'all hate each other.
Yeah.
When you could have taken care of it from the jump.
Yeah.
I totally agree.
Communication
Is the key.
Yeah.
Understand.
And not just communication.
It's,
though.
it's not just
listening.
talking. That's the thing I was about to say.
Don't why?
That's the thing.
I
No,
know.
I bring it back.
Damn.
That is not about just talking, because you can relay information all as many times as you want. You know what I'm saying? But if the other person ain't don't understand or interpreting that
Yeah,
or
not
actually
even
receiving that,
trying to listen.
you know what I'm saying? They keep hearing something, and what it sounds to them is surface level shit. Oh, he just mad about my weight. No, it's not even about that. It's about 10 years you're gonna die because this leads to this and this and this. But the surface, if you want to use the big generalize it, it's the weight.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? People don't go under all that because they can't communicate.
Exactly.
You know what I mean?
Well,
Or
it's not-
afraid to.
Yeah.
Or they don't want to grow within themselves. You know what I'm saying?
That happens a lot too. But maybe they're not understanding that they're not growing within themselves.
Maybe they don't know how to grow.
Maybe they don't know
Is that
how
what
to
you're
grow.
saying?
Maybe they don't.
Or they
Because
don't
some
understand.
people some people really think that they're in the moment of growing when really they're not. Does that make sense?
Because
They
they're
think
not making
everything-
the action.
they think
They're not
everything they
mentally
doing-
feel
Yeah,
like
they thinking in their
Everything
head
they're
they
doing
really
is right.
doing something, and they thinking in their head that they are growing, but in all reality, when you look at life, no, my nigga, you still the same.
Yeah, it's like, I didn't cuss you out though, but you was thinking about it.
Exactly, and you
Same
still
thing.
now you're telling me
Just because you didn't
now.
act on it.
Exactly, and
Yeah.
you're telling me now that you didn't cuss at the time, so that means that you really wanted to, and now you bringing it up like I'm supposed to say
Thank you.
The fuck?
Like I'm growing. No, nigga, you just learning to cover it up.
The cover up. The cover up.
Mama said one track minded. I don't know when or where, but okay. Rob said, haha, yes, not simply listening to respond, actually listen to comprehend. If you don't understand,
Is
tell
Rob
them.
black? Because I'm confused. You keep saying black, so who? I ain't seen no.
Oh no,
that's-
Rob is not black.
Black is Steven.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, Rob is not black. Okay, Yvette said, going through the change is hard, growth is hard, and it's even more difficult to see a person go through difficult changes. Ooh, because there's literally nothing you can do but be there. Because you have to know it's going to be your turn soon. A friend told me this. Women go through change at an alarming speed. We mature faster. By the time a man catches up, the first part of our growth, we've already moved on to the next thing.
Yeah.
We have to realize that even though we are one, we are still individual people that has to go through their own growing process.
Come on.
Biblically, thank you.
Gotcha.
We have our own cross to bear. I can't carry my husband's and my husband can't carry mine. Now we can help each other with the load, but we can't take on the whole cross of the person's growing process.
You better speak, sister. What you an evangelist or
Can
something?
you send me like
That
a
sister
book?
do it.
Come
do it.
on.
Do
I
You
wanna
should be a
like
guest
that.
too.
Yes.
What's going on?
Where you
Everyone
at,
tonight
though?
talking
Eat
is
that.
speaking true.
That's because I'm bringing out that spirit in people.
Wow.
I'll take that.
Yeah, but
Hey,
What?
I'm just going back and reading it again.
You learned something,
I
right?
know that was flames.
I think-
Actually, I'm gonna copy and paste it tomorrow again.
Nice.
Word.
I'm
Rob said,
gonna say written by Mary.
yeah,
You
how
gonna
much,
do
you
it?
gonna
You gonna do
plagiarism
it?
like a mud. How much do you compromise? Yeah, and how much do you compromise?
I think I can compromise all the way to the point where I see that there's changes made. Once I compromise, and the other person's not compromising anything and not showing me any type of change or any type of growth, that is the point where I have to say, okay, this is not going to work.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Well, how are you going to weigh that? Because I know you're not going to weigh that off of one time.
No. You have to give the person time. There's no such thing as you say, okay, tomorrow I need you to take the trash out, and if you didn't take the trash out, then now it's an issue and we should break
I ain't
it.
gonna lie, for me, I would actually give a deadline. Maybe not to that person, but
But to yourself?
internally.
Okay,
Internally, I would be
internally.
like, yo, I would look at, I mean, it would be not beneficial. It would be fair. You know what I'm saying? But like, let's say this has been going on a year, and in a year I have been actively trying to fix it, right?
Yeah.
Now I'm to the point to where I want to give up. I'm a teddy bear. So once I get to the point I want to give up, then that's when I'm like, okay, look, we gotta make a certain draft.
You're a teddy bear.
Yeah. So
He's a
then,
giver.
I'm a
Since
giver
when?
and a lover.
What?
Mr. Lover. Hey.
The lies.
You know what I'm saying?
lies.
And so then I'll probably be like, you know what, man, I'm gonna try for 5 months. I'm gonna try. I'm gonna hit it hard. I'm gonna answer this. I'm gonna answer that. But once I start losing my, like, yo, if I'm waking up,
Losing
bro,
yourself.
and I'm losing myself, I got
That's
to
when
go.
it's over.
But you said you don't tell them necessarily the time.
Nah.
No, you don't.
Nah, I sabotage them.
No, but I think that it is important, however, to discuss with them that
I'm at the bottom.
That
I'm
there's-
at the line.
yeah, it's something. Look, I've been here for you. I've done A, B, and C, and I feel like whatever. That I think that's what they're asking. When do you stop compromising?
You stop compromising, like you said, when you look in the mirror and you can't see yourself.
I think that's too late.
That's
That
too
is
late.
that might
Yeah.
be too
You
late.
can't let it get that far.
Yeah,
If
But
it's
it's
a
hard to
relationship,
cut.
but
Attach.
yeah,
It's hard
you
to
don't
cut
know
that.
exactly because sometimes if I tell you, well, you have 6 months to prove it to me, maybe you do 6 months exactly what I asked you to do, and then 8 months from now you're the same person.
But the timeline doesn't have to be an actual time. The timeline can be, say we're friends, and I'm like, you know, Mary, I really need you right now, but I know you got something going on.
Mhm.
However, you know, we need to discuss when is this relationship going to become equal, where I'm not giving, or you're not giving. It doesn't have to necessarily be I'm giving you 6 months. Is what I'm
It can
saying.
be
Yeah.
action, all right.
Exactly.
I got you.
Because
Cool.
then putting a timeline on to that person, they feel pressured. They feel like you really don't
Yeah.
care.
Yeah.
You're just doing it. You know what I'm saying? So it has to be some type of communication. That's just adulting.
What is the last sentence to this topic, to the show? Because we're done.
Time. Oh, okay,
Yeah.
cool.
Well, how do you feel about the topic?
I think the topic is important for people to discuss in all types of relationships because there is growth that takes place, there is change that takes place, and they have to be open-minded and understanding and letting a person grow and change without losing themselves or trying to chase after that individual while they're changing, because if it's meant to be, it's gonna be. You just gotta be yourself.
Be yourself.
My final sentence is, I'm glad that I'm here with my roots growing.
Boom!
Ooh.
Bars.
Boom! Drop it, feet!
Take that, George. Floyd.
Take that and put
Fresh.
some water on it.
Well, my final words.
Somebody said, can I come more often to the show? Sure.
Can you come more often to the show?
Sure.
I'm gonna put an angry face.
Hater! So what's your going away, your gym?
Growing as an individual is the most beautiful thing you can do.
Yeah.
And growing with your partner is just beautiful for all your offspring, for the people that are gonna come after you. So if you're trying to grow or age in a relationship, make sure you do it right, because every little kid that is in the family, and the nieces, the nephews, the grandchildren, they're all watching you.
Yeah.
So if you do it to where they see it and they believe it and they be like, this is what I want to do.
And that's why it's stay passing on the seed.
Exactly, passing on the seed. Other than that, this has been an amazing show. Thank you, Tia.
Yes.
If you guys want Tia to come back, let us know. We might invite her. I didn't want her. Eddie invited her, so yeah.
That's true.
Hey,
It's
yo, I'm gonna tell you, I'm probably sure I've seen like 25 people on here. Yo, send us them comments, or not comments. Send us those topics.
Some more topics. We
All
need
right.
topics so we can talk about, so we can talk.
I know
Yeah, see,
I was gonna spit.
I was gonna ask you some candy.
Well, I got you.
Anyway, my name is Mary Sunshine. I'm your favorite host. To my right
Tia, aka Urban.
and to my left,
Mr.
Sunshine.
Shut up.
Thank
You
you for
don't need to
watching.
tag that.
I
Just
know.
go by it.
Thank you for watching. Like the page, send us an email, share the word, share the page, share everything. We love
Sharing
you
is
guys.
caring.
Yes.
Peace.
Have a good week.
Hasta luego.
Hasta luego.
Is that right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Says tschüss. Auf Wiedersehen.